All right, back to it. So before the break, I had removed this check that I'm not really sure even did anything. And maybe that will let us actually place our defenses. You know, what this game is about. So we can see the preview, but we don't have any currency. I could probably just change things to like give me currency to start to expedite things, but yeah, anyway. So position outside navigation bounds. Didn't I change? Did I not save the file? Position outside. What did I just change then? Oh, okay. I see. So there are two places. Um, right. So this is essentially. I'm confused. Is placement valid? Validate placement. If we're doing this, why do we need to call it again? Oh, right. Because this was a transitional change. So I had changed this. I see. Okay, so does anything called validate placement? No, only is valid. Okay, cool. So really what I want to do is I want this debug information to be inside of here. I'll change this too because we don't need to call this twice. Like long term, where I was thinking this was going would be that we would actually present this information to the user in the UI in some way. I just hadn't gotten around to that. I did want it to show up in the logs though, so we don't need this message. Good. So if it's not valid, then these things. So if result, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, these things. But really you could just use a switch, right? You could just like switch. Um, Wait, how do we... Hold on, that's not the right syntax. What is the... Is it match? Hold on, let's get rid of all this and we'll just have Copilot generate. Amazing. All right, and that means I don't think unknown is a thing. Yeah, is that an exhaustive list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the other one? No terrain support, no placeable. Okay. None. Not possible. Because it would be valid. Okay, cool. So this will prevent us from calling the thing that validate placement calls twice, which is why removing it in the one place didn't remove the check. This is one that I wanted to remove. And we'll reload. So far away. Okay, so if I try to place a wall, it places, and I can reclaim it for a refund. And if I go over here to where the zombies spawn, and then I can place a turret, and the turret takes care of the zombies. And then if I go back up the hill and place the turret here, it also seems to place correctly. Let's pause this and we'll switch to controlling the camera here. Did that actually place on the terrain? Okay, I'll zoom out so that we can... Yeah, basically, sort of, kind of. Don't worry about it too much. I mean, it's kind of close. The benefit of having this orthographic kind of like isometric style view is that it covers some sense. But yeah, we can. Oh well, if I switch input back here, we can unpause. We win! Yay! All right. This good enough for now. Okay, so going back to our list of things, placing obstacles places them below the train is no longer a problem. Target health is allowed to go below 0. This was the bug that we fixed with the improper signal hookup. Okay, so and then levels or scenes, we've started that, like we have a level and it is a scene. So there is that. So we'll say that. And then what? Celebrate. That was the, you know, a lot of little things to fix. We still have some more stuff before we're properly done, but can we fix the resume button on pause menu does not close the menu real quick? So on the main menu scene, no, on the other one, this one, pause menu, pause resume button. So presumably there's a script. Yeah. So I don't know. I this is fine. I think maybe not necessary, right? So instead of doing this, we could just do that on the UI elements, right? So we could just be like, hey, this is pressed, hook this up to well, this is the resume button, so on resume pressed, right? Connect it. And then this is the restart button, so this should be on restart pressed, connect. Right, instead of writing code to hook these things up, because they're just straightforward. It's not like with the game manager. With the game manager, because it's an auto load, there is not a thing that's present in the scene tree, in the editor anyway, to like statically create these connections to the signals. But for this, there are. So why not use that? So main menu button pressed. Yeah, there you go. And then quit button pressed. Connect. So that did nothing, right? That's equivalent to what we already had. So when we say on resume pressed, we want to resume game. We also want to hide menu. I could just set visible to false, but we already have a function called hide menu, so I'm going to use that. this was a miss because why? What does resume game do? It sets the game, it sets the, right. So I think it was last stream, we changed the behavior of the game. So we have this game state enum that we store in current state, but that's separate from the game being paused, right? So the game state of like being in the main menu, playing, and being in the in-game menu, game over, and victory, those are distinct, not overlapping states, right? And that's completely separate from the idea of the game being paused. Now, generally speaking, you are only pausing in these two states, and we could have a more sophisticated interesting. Why? That's weird. What was I saying? We could have a more sophisticated state machine, right? Is where I was going to go with that. But that should make it so that when we unpause, so if not pause, but if I hit escape and we bring up this menu, I hit resume, the menu goes away and the game unpauses. So if I hit escape twice, it dismisses the menu, but it doesn't unpause. If I click resume, that happens. If I hit escape now, nothing happens. I have to hit escape twice. Why? Okay, if I hit this and then escape. In-game menu. Resume. But we're not... Okay, interesting. So when I hit resume, the game state doesn't change. Even though I'm calling resume game. Oh, right, because that unpauses the game, but that's not what we want to do. Hold on. When we resume, we want to just hide the menu. Yeah? Is that behavior we want? Okay, so I hit escape. It brings us here. I hit escape again. But the game is paused. As soon as I hit escape the first time, the game is paused. If I hit resume, that... Okay. So what I need to do here... Yeah, we should hide menu. But we need to do that by changing the game state. Game manager dot something. Something that sets the game state. Or we just call set game state. Toggle in-game menu. Maybe that's just what I want to do. Should be safe because we're in the menu if we're able to click the button. Oops. Escape. Yay. Oh, well. Resume. Escape. Resume. Escape. Okay. Good. So we have consistent behavior. If we're hitting escape or from this menu or hitting resume, it behaves the same way. Great. Okay. That fixed the issue as far as I'm concerned. So we'll add this, stage it, and we adjusted some things in the pause menu. And then anything... When did this change? Okay, we'll add that too. Excuse me. Okay, so nope. Very generic commit message. Make the pause menu close behavior consistent. All right. Cool. So there we go. That fixed the issue. Resume button on pause menu does not close the menu. Fixed. Ah, interesting. Let me refresh a thing. There we go. Twitch is acting oddly. Okay, I can see over there. How long the stream's been up. Where is... there we go. Oh, yeah. So at the beginning of the stream, I was like, hey, we should come up with a name for the game. And let's see what ChatGPT has suggested. So, last line, dead hold, camp 0, grave watch, hold the line, no one left behind. Siege sector, perimeter, barricade patrol, fallback, Z line, playful indie, genre aware. Feels like what I'd want to do. Waves of the Dead, very little. They come at night. This reminds me of a movie title. Towered Up, click, aim, survive. Reminds me of a different movie title, actually. Click, aim, survive. Usually for these sorts of brainstorming things, I'll say, I like click, aim, survive, and we'll go from there. But again, I'm not going to do this on stream. But I did want to check something. Okay, great. So yeah. So back to the list. So navigation region 3D, terrain, lights, enemy spawner, and targets are part of the level scene. So let's do that. That's going to break more things, and then we'll fix those things. Sounds like something like a plan. So let's close everything except for this scene. So we have our level. I'll open that back up. And then what we want to do is we want to bring the enemy spawner into this level. Yep. And we want to bring the target into the level. I think we lost our relative positioning, but it's fine. We'll just move this guy back over yonder. Yeah, and we're going to have some broken things, and I'll sort through once we are a little further along. I'm just going to move all the things where they're supposed to be, and then, oh yeah, like target shouldn't be inside of enemy spawner. There we go. That seems fine. Okay, and then save that. Okay, navigation region 3D. This is our navigation region for the obstacles, aka defenses. The light we're gonna move into the level. Not there. There. Cool. And I think that's it. Right, so navigation region 3D, which we already moved, the terrain already moved, lights, enemy spawner, and targets are part of the level scene. Okay, so we did that, and that broke some things. So everything else, like the world environment, the camera, the UI, the player stuff, and the raycast is all in the main scene, so that remains unchanged. And then we fix things is essentially where we're left. So, what is broken? Probably stuff in here. So all that should be fine. That should be fine. The target has a script. It has a child health node. It is expecting to get signals from this. Okay. That's fine. Signals? Yes. Oh. What happened there? I don't know. Okay, so when the damage signal happens, we call on health damage on the parent. And then on the shake effect sibling node. And then we handle on died. Okay, so this is fine. I don't know that anything actually needs to change here. Yeah, okay. Which I didn't have anything on my notes about anything changing there, so I guess that's fine. We're probably going to need a script for the level. Rename this as well. So we need a script that is going to handle doing things right now the main script does. So in the notes I say move the signal connection setup from main.gd to the level scenes. Right, so what's in main.gd? So I think we have some signal, connect signals that's responsible for hooking up the enemy spawner to the UI. Right, so the spawner to the UI. And to these on wave started functions that are essentially wrappers to call on the UI. So how do I want to do this? I think what I want to do is, so nothing else calls these, right? Just the signal. They just receive those signals. So what I want to do is I want to make these functions that I'm expecting that will be called by something. Let's call on enemy spawned. Yeah, something like that, but we don't need to be that elaborate. We can just say UI dot on enemy node 3D. There we go. And so the idea is going to be, we're going to get rid of this, right? And then that means we can get rid of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when the level loads, it's going to hook the signal from its enemy spawner to these functions. To do that, attach a script. Yeah, just like level1.gd. I think I'm going to go ahead and save this, but I'm going to create another file inside of levels. It's going to be a script. It's just going to be level.gd. And this is going to extend node 3D. And this is going to be class name. No. Class name. Hold on. Too many things going on. Get rid of these sidebars. Class name, level. There we go. All right, and we're not going to do anything here quite yet. I guess. Let's do this. Let's have this extend level. Yeah, it'll find it. I think we just need to go back here and then go here and then, yeah, there we go. It just takes a little bit to kind of like get the connection to sync. So this, we just want to have something that's like, yeah. We want to do these things. So do I want, I think what I'll do is I'll do on ready, enemy spawner, that has a type of enemy spawner, and we're not gonna have, it'd be really great if I could, okay, there we go. We're not gonna hard code the path to it, right? This is just the base class, because what I'm essentially claiming here is that every level will have an enemy spawner, and so everything should be able to inherit from this. And maybe that will be a mistake, and we'll change it, and that's fine. And then we don't have to worry about the UI. We are going to simply say, hey, when we're ready, we're going to grab the enemy spawner, and we are going to connect it to, well, the main scene. Somehow, some way. Now, what I could do is I could make these functions on the level and essentially create signals on the level that mirror the signals from the enemy spawner, and just kind of like propagate the signal, and then we can use signal connect, you know, we could do that. I think that ends up being, it's going to be more work because we're going to be loading multiple levels, right? And so something would need to own connecting those signals as levels load in and load out. If we make it so that the level connects itself when it loads, that's kind of nice, right? So I think what we want to do is we want to say, how is this going to work? How is this going to work? Well, let's not overthink it. Do I want to have just like a already var main? And do something like this? Yeah. Can I do that? And then when I go here and I look at this level, I was kind of expecting oh right, it wouldn't be, it would actually be export is what I want. Export var, enemy spawner, and main. Right? And then I can assign, well, not from here. Yeah, from here, enemy spawner should be the enemy spawner. And then from here, I can assign main. Now, is this a good idea? I don't know. But I'm able to do it. Okay, so going back to our list of things, move the signal connection setup from main.gd to the level scenes. Okay, did that. Move rebake in navigation mesh to the level scenes, right? I don't actually think I want to do that. right? So the navigation mesh for the terrain is in the level. The navigation mesh for the enemies, though, maybe not. Or not the enemies, but the obstacles. The obstacles, right? So obstacle placement. Where in the scene tree does it place the obstacles? So if we look at, what is it? Place obstacle. Somewhere in here, it should, yeah, it adds the obstacle, the real obstacle, to the parent, which would be the main node, for good or for ill. And then it calls place on the obstacle with the navigation mesh. So I think this is fine. So this is this navigation region and its mesh that contains things based on static colliders. I think this might be fine. Yeah. Okay, so if I run this, we get an error. Yeah. Main GD 32. Right, so these, okay, here. Oh. So we want to change this because this anticipates that we would have the enemy spawner. So if we look at, no. Here we go. Okay. I mean, if I'm going to do this, I might as well not even have these functions on main and instead have the UI be passed in. Yeah, what is UI defined as? It's a control. Okay, very, very non-specific. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take these functions from here, move them here, and then these can be underscored, private, right? Functions here, and then we change this, be like all these, because this will have the enemy spawner, and we can look up the wave number and stuff to pass to the UI. So if we save that, we go back here, we stop the game, we go to level, we assign our UI as the UI node, and we run it. Maybe it won't crash this time. Okay. So far, so good. Is it Control Q&E? No. Shift? There we go. Although, so that rotates the camera. It does not rotate the controls. This becomes very confusing. I need to actually... So here's a question. Can I... Yeah, okay, so that does in fact cause collision at least. Let's rerun that. Start game. What I want to see is if it will affect pathfinding. If we do a bunch of walls. Get it. All right. So come over here. And let me just do... Maybe not. See, because they're not routing around that. Okay. So that seems like we are not respecting the navigation region that's here. So if I look at remote and main, navigation region. So there are navigation obstacles. These are the things I just put. There is a mesh. I don't suppose I can see anything about this mesh, huh? Edit. Did we rebake the mesh? Yeah. So placing obstacle, rebaking navigation mesh rebaked. So let's assume that's all working. Maybe the navigation agents of the enemies are not respecting, are not leveraging both navigation regions. Where are the enemies? Probably inside of the level. Yeah, inside of enemy spawner. Like here's an enemy. Target group, obstacle group, navigation agent. Here's a navigation agent. Navigation layers. Avoidance layers. Navigation layers. So you would think there's this navigation region that's on layer 1, and there's this navigation region that is also on layer 1. It's enabled. Use edge connections. Connect with the navigation with the proximity. Can we? I guess the thing that may be a problem. Oh boy, hold on. There was a thought I had, and I was gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna take a note. No, I lost it. There was something we were doing. I was like, oh, I should take a note about this, but I didn't verbalize it, and I got distracted, and it's gone now. But anyway, what we need to know: Godot multiple navigation regions. So AI summary says you can use multiple different agent types, layered navigation. Now we're going to find out if all this stuff is true. Don't know. Overlapping. While possible to overlap regions, be mindful of how edges align. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, multiple. Yep. This. Yes. 2D pathfinding uses several navigation region and layers. Okay. Connecting navigation meshes. Different navigation meshes are automatically merged by the navigation server when at least 2 vertex positions of one edge exactly overlap. To connect over arbitrary distances, use navigation links. Okay. Oh, you know what I should do? I should turn on navigation debug again. I had that on for quite a while, and then I turned it off. So on the enemy navigation agent, we can enable the pathfinding debug. But it'll also look here if there are any settings that I care about. Nope. Okay. So, I mean, that seems like maybe that worked. Let's restart. And actually, you know what I should do? I should go to I guess I need to go to the game manager. Game manager. Where? No. I have a separate thing. Maybe it's unnecessary. Called currency manager. I'm just gonna give myself some money. We'll reload. All right. So if I just like build some walls. That doesn't seem to impact the pathfinding. Now collision happens. But it seems to have some difficulties. So it seems like it's not using the information from this navigation region. So what if I go into the level and I disable this this one? Does it look at the other one? Okay. What if let's do this. So let's go into the level. And we're going to set the navigation layer to 2. For the enemy navigation agent, it can use 2 layers. So maybe if they're on separate layers, it'll work better. And then so like that pathfinding should update when it rebaked. So I think what we'll see here is when the new agents spawn in, will they route around this? No. Interesting. Okay. So we broke our pathfinding by having multiple navigation regions. I wonder if well, I can't just turn off this, because that's going to break the navigation agent following the terrain. Let's see. Are there differences in settings that maybe I want to pay attention to here? It's like I did change some things with the agents in the past, but that looks the same. I think I like essentially cloned the navigation region to set this up. So I think these settings are all the same size. What does merge size here do? Any regions with a size smaller than this will be merged with the larger regions if possible. Okay. Edges, polygons, details, filters, resource. I don't know. Don't know. So this part's geometry type should just be mesh instances, because this is just for the terrain. So cell size, so 0.25, 0.25, 1.5, half, 0.25. And then on main, these settings are the same. It's enabled. What if I turn off use? So what is the description here? If enabled, the navigation region will use edge connections to connect with other navigation regions within proximity. Well, we aren't breaking things up into like we're just trying to do overlapping regions, not like adjacent ones. So maybe I'll turn that off on both of these. I suspect it's going to do nothing. But we can try. I think maybe another aspect of this is to do with the fact that these are not fully on the ground. Like they're still planning on going through the obstacles. What they should be doing is planning on going around them. Oh, I ran out of money. Well, I'm not getting any currency back from... Oh, right. So the wall must be going negative. Oopsie. That's another thing where the signal's broken. Yeah. Health.gd, error calling from signal damage to callable static body obstacle. Okay. Obstacle.gd. So on health damage, there should be an additional underscore source string. There we go. Okay, that will fix that issue. But doesn't fix the fact that our pathfinding is broken. But I'm getting a little hungry for lunch. So I think we're going to pause here. I am going to not save that. And then I'm going to push up the commits that I've... What? I just wanted to push the commits I already have. What do you mean? Git push. All right. Is there anything I can check in? I'm not going to check in that. What's going on with this image? That really... Okay, I don't know why Chrome opened. That's weird. Anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new branch. Call it level 1. All right. Work from 2025 09 28 stream. I'm gonna push that into a branch. I need to figure out why is pathfinding broken. But I'll probably poke on I don't know. We'll see how the week goes, and if I have time to kind of poke at this a little bit. But hey, we did something in Blender finally again. So that's cool. We got some things happening, and actually I'll keep those tabs open. I might want to look at those. But yeah, so this is we're working on this. In fact, I could say we'll get that pull request going as well. Fixes. Guess we just say number 31. And create a draft. And I'll be working on that. But yeah, so thanks so much for coming out.